Okay, it's time for another Italeri kit. This time, the Opel Maultier. Because clearly the frustrations of building an older kit weren't enough on their own. No, I had to go and add Photo-etch. And to just really round out the experience, I'm also using separate track links. Because nothing says relaxing hobby like assembling 200 tiny pieces of track. I'm going to build this kit a little differently because of the Photo-etch. I'll only be filming that part of the process, mainly because I want to spare you the footage of me muttering at plastic for 3 hours. This is my first major attempt at using Photo-etch, so join me as I dive into a world of tiny metal parts, super glue, and regret. I'm mainly using the Edward instructions to add all the extra details to the kit. Once that's done, I'll move on to the actual assembly, eventually. This makes the build a very slow and careful process. I've tried Photo-etch before, and let's just say it usually ended in frustration, bent parts, and broken dreams. But this time I've come prepared. I have a weapon, the Photo-etch bender. If you're thinking about tackling Photo-etch without one, don't. Just don't. Save yourself the pain and get the tool. Trust me, your sanity depends on it. Working with Photo-etch means some kit parts have to go, sacrifice for the greater detail. The tricky part? The instructions aren't always crystal clear, especially when you're juggling the kit steps with the Photo-etch guide. It's like trying to read 2 cookbooks at once and hoping you'll still end up with a cake. Maybe I plugged into the Matrix and downloaded how to finally use CA glue, or maybe this BMS Black CA is just that good. Either way, I'm starting to feel like Neo, bending reality one glue bond at a time. You may notice I'm a bit messy with it, but this CA glue has a buddy. Sure, there are other combos on the market, but these two go together like peas and carrots. To install the dashboard, I'll need to remove some kit details, always a nerve-wracking moment. It's that point in the build where one wrong move can turn into plastic regret. So, after plenty of careful analyzing, double checking, and mentally preparing for the heartbreak, I begin the process. So far, everything's going surprisingly well. Honestly, I'm just waiting to be yanked out of the Matrix and back to reality. Oh, and yes, I intentionally installed the dashboard incorrectly, just to make fitting the smaller parts a little easier. Totally planned. Totally. Okay, honest Abe moment here. I made a mistake by following only the Edward instructions. Turns out ignoring the kit manual wasn't the genius move. I thought it was. But don't worry, I spotted my blunder later and got it sorted out. Still grinding away on the cab section, and let me tell you, this Photo-etch has been a real test of patience. But with each tiny part I managed to wrangle into place, my confidence goes up just a little more. I've always seen the potential of Photo-etch to really elevate a kit, so naturally I kept buying it, and just as naturally I'd fail miserably, glue my fingers together, and swear it off like a bad relationship. I must have found my Photo-etch soulmate, because this time it's actually working out. I'm studying the directions like it's a final exam and taking my time with each step. No rage quitting yet. When I first started, I told myself I'll just do the easy parts and maybe attempt the trickier ones. But here I am actually doing it. Jokes aside, I've really gained some valuable confidence from this. I hope this video finds anyone out there who's struggling with Photo-etch and wants to master it. I've still got a long way to go myself, but I can definitely see more of it in my future. The satisfaction of seeing all that hard work pay off is absolutely worth it. Hours spent under a magnifying headset, making tiny bends and fussing with Photo-etch, it all comes together in the end. Alright, let's use that new confidence and tackle the door handles, both inside and out. First things first, the kit parts have to go. You can use a variety of tools for this, but here I'm using my trusty flush cutters and a sharp hobby blade to carefully remove them. To help glue these tiny door handles securely, I'm drilling small holes to insert a styrene rod as a pin. This should give the parts a stronger hold and keep everything in place. This also ensures I have the exact spot for each handle once glued in place. Just a few final adjustments and wow, I'm really glad that was the ice machine. Did you hear it? I took the time to add these details. I can't just unplug it because I need my ice, but it's becoming a running joke in my videos lately, and every once in a while, like you heard there, it catches me, but most times I do avoid it. Alright, enough about the ice already. I'll say it again, seeing a job well done feels great, and yep, there's still a mountain of work ahead. Most of this work is tedious and way too tiny to film properly. Besides, my channel isn't really about teaching step by step, it's about inspiring you and showing you that yes, it can be done. I mean, if I can do it, you can certainly do it. Attaching all these parts and that shovel was a giant pain. But I finally got it done. Looking everything over now, yep, I definitely spent hours just on the cab section. Hopefully from here on out, it's all gravy. And hey, look, I finally spotted my error and fixed the dashboard. Everything looks amazing inside, but wait, I just realized I'll need to paint this before putting the top on. I'm currently using a small Neo air compressor, and it should get the job done at least until I upgrade to a real setup. My original idea for this kit was to throw cargo in the back, but then I was flipping through my Shepherd paint book and saw these easy conversions. Well, they say they're easy, but we'll see about that. So I figured, why not? Let's give it a shot. Flipping through the book, I saw we need to cut down the side railings on the kit. I grabbed a pencil and made some markings where I'm planning to add the Photo-etch, just mapping it all out before the fun begins. I'm using the kit's groove as a guide and carefully scoring along it. Trying not to slip out, I gave the Tamiya Scriber a try, but it feels like it widens the groove too much and takes away from some of the height I want to keep. Steps like these can take some time, but we're just about done, well almost. I still need to remove some kit parts, and I also need to add some Photo-etch as well. I'm removing the parts that would have held the seats, since we won't be needing them for the direction this build is going. I also took off this kit detail, and I'll be replacing it with Photo-etch instead. Removing that detail did take away some of the molded wood grain, so I'm using the Scriber to add it back in. The mounting brackets, or whatever they're called, are being added to all the sides. With my trusty VMS glue, this job's actually pretty easy. To get them all perfectly straight, I started by adding a dot of glue at the bottom of each one, and then I quickly added some more VMS glue and glued them all in place. The Edward set only included certain pieces for the different railing build options, so I had to adapt a bit, cutting and trimming pieces to fit the areas I wanted. It wasn't too difficult to figure out, but some parts were slightly wider or thinner because they weren't meant to go together. I made sure to place those where they won't really be noticed. Now, I'm removing even more kit parts. At this rate, it's going to be just an empty shell held together by Photo-etch. I'm prepping the area for the mounting brackets, which will be added later once everything starts coming together. We're moving along nicely with this kit, and now that the cab area is done, everything is coming together much more quickly. Working on some of the minor Photo-etch details now, I had to remove even more kit parts to add better replacements. And this bit? Honestly, I wasn't even sure what it was at first. Turns out it's tiny bolts that go into the added details. I'm doing well so far, but yeah, I'm not even gonna attempt those. Most of that part's going to be hidden underneath the truck anyway, so I'm not losing sleep over skipping a few microscopic details. Right now I'm wrangling with the hinges and locks, basically gluing on hinges, a latch, and then the lock. It was time consuming, fiddly, and I'm pretty sure I aged a year doing it. But hey, it's on there and it even looks like it works. While a Photo-etch bender is definitely a must-have for this kind of work, it's not always the hero of the day. Sometimes good old-fashioned fingers or a trusty pair of tweezers do the job just as well. It really depends on the part, and some bends need precision engineering, and others just need a gentle nudge and a bit of hope. Photo-etch instructions, especially from Edward, sometimes just throw a part at you with no explanation of what it is or why it exists. The kit never had it to begin with, so now I'm just staring at it like an ancient artifact. I think it holds something, but what? Ammo? Bananas? A tiny gremlin mechanic? Your guess is as good as mine. I'm finally starting to see the finish line. I added all the detail under the truck bed, even the rear section parts are in place. The locks look great, and there was even a bit of chain detail meant to go on there, but I left it out. I really wish I had a time machine right about now. It turns out I'm making a mistake and don't even know it yet. I'm using the wrong fenders and cutting off the kit parts, but thankfully I catch it later in the build and repurpose those parts I removed to restore the detail. They actually attach to the front cab running boards, so in the end, it all kind of works out. Crisis mostly averted. So here I am showing off my fine work on those fenders. Look how nicely I got them on. It was a real pain to get them aligned properly, and yes, as I mentioned earlier in the video, yep, they're the wrong ones. All the effort just to remove them later and redo it with the correct parts. It's like the kid is testing my sanity, one fender at a time. Okay, here's the eureka moment, when I finally realized I made a blunder. At this rate, with all these mishaps, I'm going to need to reorder some more VMS debonder. Luckily, I already have plenty on hand. It makes removing the parts way easier. But for those glued on parts that bond directly to plastic, I'll definitely have to be extra careful. Alright, we've come to the fun part. Well, maybe fun for you, but not so much fun for me. I put on some good TV shows, some old game shows, and dove right into working on those track links. Let the grind begin. Working with larger tracks, like on a Tiger for my first Fuji model, I didn't say that right, Fuji model, okay. Build probably would have been a smarter idea, but hey, I'm working with what I've got, and it's going okay so far. My first plan was to attach all the tracks and then fix the unruly ones by using a pin vise. But once I got a decent chunk on, I realized they weren't fitting as smoothly as I hoped. I'm not going to torture you by showing me drilling and boring all 200 track links. Instead, I'll be doing that off camera while showing my age by watching Super Password with Bert Convy. The password is, I'm done. Once I got all the links cleaned up with a 4mm drill bit, they went together super quick. I'm ordering some track links for a Panther G I'll be building in the next few months. Curious if working with larger tracks will be easier this time. Of course, I've got some Photo-etch to add in as well, because why make it easy, right? Alright, we're done. Everything's broken down into sections ready for paint. Next up, I need to finish the 20mm flak I'm adding to the bed. Already started on it and it's going quick. With Photo-etch, of course. This was a fun kit to build, and honestly, it wasn't too bad. I'm really starting to like Italeri kits, and my next Italeri kit is going to be the RSO tractor, and I even found some Photo-etch for it. And look, I used most of the Photo-etch for this build. I'm really proud of myself for sticking with it. Alright, thanks for watching, and as always, a big thank you to my supporters and subscribers. I'll see you in the next video.